Okay, perfect. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tutored. Welcome to a new online experience on our Orange platform. I'm really excited to start this appointment with you. But first, just a quick presentation. I'm Giuseppe, and today I'm not alone. You can see next to me my colleague Fabio.
Hi, guys.
And we are both part of the Tutored marketing and communication team. However, the protagonist of this event is Alicia Kaminska, who will bring us into the dynamics and relationships inside the world of data science, because she is data scientist at Novafori.
Hi, Alicia. How are you doing tonight?
Well, thank you. I'm really good. Very good. I'm very excited to be here.
Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm currently calling from Spain.
Nice.
Malaga.
Nice.
Here is the agenda of this online experience, and Alicia will cover these topics related to her career, the field of data science, her role at Novafori, but also how to become data scientist with some tools.
But first, just before leaving the stage to Alicia, we'll just take 5 minutes to introduce you with Tutor for those who are still not familiar with our platform. So what's the goal of Tutor? Tutor is the point of contact between students, young graduates, and companies. And our goal is to help you realize your ambitions. It helps you not only to find a job, but to find the most suitable job for you to start your career and realize your professional and career goals. On the website and on Tutor app, you can find thousands of job offers published by hundreds of companies, such as big multinationals, startups, small, medium enterprises, consulting firms, banking and insurance groups. All the internship, graduate programs, and other opportunities published on Tutor are paid. They don't ask for experience requirements impossible to be satisfied by students and young graduates. And what we love the most, from the detail of the job offer, you can already find out what you will learn once you enter the company. This is great, isn't it?
It's astonishing.
Yeah, because you can base your choice not on what you already know, but what you want to improve once you get in the company. Until June, we were only in Italy. We are in Milan right now. But since the summer, we have started also to expand abroad in Europe and UK. So right now you can find Tutor, its job offers and online experiences also in your country. You don't find on the website and on the app only job offers, but you will find also interesting and insightful online experiences like the one you are participating right now with Giuseppe and Alicia. So Giuseppe, what are online experiences on Tutor?
Thank you for your question, Fabio. Tutored online experiences are free interactive digital appointments to get to know companies, but also their teams, the technologies or softwares, programs they use in order to find out more about a specific professional role, in this case, the role of data scientist. And this month we'll have another online experience, and you'll receive lots of CV tips during the appointment with Todd Jack Hooker, who is talent acquisition manager at Williams Racing.
So if you're in love with Formula One,
yes, I know. We are ready to start. And I would like to suggest you the best way to participate in this online experience.
Wait, but yeah, how you?
Yes,
well,
we have the chat, and you can use it to begin a discussion with Alicia. I suggest you to turn on your camera. Don't worry if your background is not the Maldivian paradise.
We are in Milan and it's also raining, so don't worry.
And furthermore, you can click on raise hand. Yes, because during the Q&A, at the end of Alicia's speech, we give you the possibility to switch on your microphone and ask your questions, curiosities, doubts directly to Alicia. Alicia, it's up to you.
The stage is yours.
Great. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen and we will begin the presentation. So, okay. Let me know if you can see it. Does it work?
Yes. Yeah, we can see.
A big yes.
Perfect. That is a good start. So welcome to the presentation, everyone. Thank you for, first of all, thank you for having me here. I am very excited to talk to you about data science, how to become a data scientist, and I will tell you a bit about my journey, the skills and the software to know. So as Giuseppe said before, my name is Alicja Kaminska. I currently work as a data scientist at Nova4u. So yeah, I'm very excited to spend the next hour or so with you. So let's get started. So as you know, data science has been called the sexiest job of the 21st century many times, but what is actually behind this buzzwords? Is it really that exciting to work as a data scientist? What can you expect to do on a daily basis, and does it differ depending on the company that you work for? So I will try through this presentation, give you some understanding of that. I will share my perception because probably for every data scientist, it might slightly differ depending on their experience and the journey they went through, which is completely fine. So just a small disclaimer, that is just my own vision and purely based on my experience. So yes, so this presentation, I just wanted to put a short summary. This presentation is for you if you are if you want to pursue your career in data science, if you just finished your university or are just wondering if you if data science is something for you, or you consider switching your career to data science from something else, then I believe that this presentation will give you some insights into how it is to work as a data scientist. But for my side, for me, it's also a pleasure to get to know more about you. I'm very happy to see so many of you just joining the call right now. So if you don't mind, as we go through the presentation, or if you already know the answers, you can just pop them in the chat right now. I would like to get to know more about you. What do you do now? Where are you with your career? Did you just finish university, or are you the one just switching the career to data science? And what made you consider data science? What did you hear before about working with data? And what is your main motivation to consider that? So if you've got a few seconds, just pop it in the chat. That would be interesting for us to get each other know a little bit better. But yes, so as I get to know more about you, let me tell you a bit about myself. And I will start with my journey to data science, which started back in 2018, so already 4 years ago, when I graduated from my bachelor's degree in finance. At the time, I knew that I love math, that I'm good with math, that I love working with numbers, with data, but I didn't really know where I can go with that. What is the career that I want to pursue? And as I graduated, I was lucky enough to get a internship, a graduate role at EY in Financial Risk Management Department, where I saw different ways of working. In financial risk management at EY, there were two types of role that you could, two types of projects that you could work on. Some of them were more operational and the other one were more analytical. And from the first day when I found out about analytical projects, I got really excited and I really wanted to work on them. But at the time, I didn't have enough technical knowledge. So I used their online resources and different online courses in general, not only available through EY, but in general online to learn SQL, so I could help and work on the more analytical projects, which were around forecasting, analyzing credit or market risks, as those were more exciting to me than the operational projects like opening a mortgage bank. So yeah, as I was learning and doing my research about analytics, risk management, I came across this term data science, which is right now probably more popular than was 4 years ago. And yeah, I founded the career that you can actually be a person responsible for data, for analytics. And then I decided to apply for a master's in data science. I did my master's as a part-time course, and at the same time, I got a job as a data analyst at Vodafone. And yes, a few years later, I started working as behavioral data scientist at Novafore. I finished my master's. And yes, so as you can see, throughout the 4 years time, I worked in a big company like Vodafone and a much smaller tech business like Novafore. And from that, I noticed that as a data scientist, your role may differ a lot depending on the company, the industry, the company size that you work for. So it's something to bear in mind that as a data scientist, you might be expected to do different things depending on the company you work for. Yeah, but it as it may differ a lot depending on different companies. There are also some commonalities. So you may wonder, what is data science in general terms? And as I was preparing this presentation, I asked myself, so okay, you do data science, but what does it mean? What do you do? And then I tried to find an answer in one and only Wikipedia. And what I found there was actually something that I agree with. So Wikipedia says that a data scientist is someone who creates programming code and combines it with statistical knowledge to create insights from data. So we've got 3 important things in this sentence. We've got create programming code, yes, statistical knowledge, yes, and create insights from data. Yes, it's those 3 are very essential steps in my perception for a data scientist. But this definition for me misses 2 important aspects that I would put one before and one after if you look at the project or one task that a data scientist does. So before starting with code, applying your statistical knowledge or creating insights, I would say that you need to, a data scientist should start with a problem at hand. So if it's in a business environment, you need to understand what the problem is, what you're trying to solve, what data is available to you, and what the numbers mean, which sometimes might be a step that you would skip, and that might lead to many problems. So it might sound like a boring step, but it's very essential to know if you've got certain value, what this value mean, and what is a user or a process behind that value that generates it, and if there are certain limitation to how that value was delivered. And then, of course, we've got those 3 steps. And at the end, when a project is finished, I feel like it's also a data scientist's responsibility to effectively communicate the results back to stakeholders to drive a value. So you could build amazing model, amazing visualization, but if you do not pass that knowledge on to other people, present it, then there might be no gain from that. So I feel like communication skills when it comes to dashboarding or just general data storytelling to share what you found with data and what you found with the enormous amount of work, skills, knowledge, it's also important. So this is what is data science to me in my view, and a short general description of what a data scientist does. Yeah, it all sounds amazing in theory, but how does it look like in practice? So I put together 3 lessons that I've learned after 3 years of experience that I wanted to share with you. So the first lesson that I learned is to expect to never stop learning. I feel like willingness to learn is one of the most important skills when it comes to working as a data scientist, because there are many reasons for that. The first one might be the number of tools as they continuously change. I feel like over the last four years, the number of tools that a data scientist can use grew enormously. You've got multiple data visualization tools, you've got multiple tools to put your model in production, to manage your data warehouse, you've got enormous amount of solutions to host your data. And to be honest, it's impossible to learn all of them. And as you change your job, the tool that you use and the stack that the company uses may differ as well. So you continuously need to learn how to use a new tool. But also there are new ways of working and new studies that come out all the time. And I feel like it's very important for data scientists to stay on top of the knowledge in the industry, in the area that you work on, to follow new developments, new studies, to kind of keep up your game. And also you need to continuously learning, because even if you put one model in production and it's working perfectly now, the code needs to be maintained. There are continuously new tools appearing, so you can improve the performance, you can improve integrations with other data sources all the time. So I would say willingness to learn is the key skills for a data scientist. The second one would be simple is better than complicated, and that's a lesson that I'm still learning myself how to apply, and I try to remind myself about that, because at least for me as a data scientist, when I've got a problem at hand and I'm trying to analyze it, then I try to cover every single possible scenario that the problem or the project may go to. And then you try to cover every single scenario, but as you go towards the final solution, there is a balance that you need to maintain between the amazing product that you're going to create that is just going to be bulletproof and is covering every single solution, and the practical application of that. Because if you create that monster that has endless amount of code, there is a problem of maintaining that in the future. There is a problem with explaining that application of the code to other people, and as you leave the company, if the product is going to be still used, because it might be amazing and it might do magic, but if other people, other data scientists cannot understand how it works, then it's not going to be maintained and it's just going to become obsolete. And also infrastructure costs, so putting that project in production also is going to cost more if it's very complicated. And the last lesson I would say is about communication skills, and that it can take you places. So as I mentioned before, data scientist is a person that creates value from knowledge that you generate by working with data. And you can create an amazing project, an amazing model that is going to do great stuff, but if you cannot explain how it works and what is the insight that it brings to other stakeholders, which might not be technical, in a very simple terms, then you're not going to deliver value out of it. So being able to communicate with different departments, with stakeholders, non-technical people about technical aspects of your job is also a very important skill to have. And yeah, it's something that I am also working still on. But yes, but to some of you that are still thinking about starting your career in data science and are wondering what are the tips that I could give for breaking into the industry, I put together a few that I wish I was told at the beginning of my career. And yes, the first one is to not be afraid to ask what exactly you're going to be doing as a data scientist. I feel like for many data scientists, the job differs depending on the company that you work for. For some, in some companies, they are already data engineers in the company that's going to prepare the data for you, put the whole infrastructure. In some smaller companies, you may not have a data engineer working alongside you, and you might be responsible for greater variety of tasks. So I feel like asking what is the job going to look like, it's a very good question to ask, and it's not, although it might sound a little bit silly, it's not at all, and it's a very good safety question, because it's gonna save you some time working for a company or doing the job that you don't really enjoy doing, because as you are interviewed for a company, you also interview the company for yourself to see if you are the best candidate for it, because we all strive and we do our best job while we enjoy what we do. So I would say don't be afraid to ask hiring manager or HR recruiter, what exactly am I expected to do as a data scientist in this role? And the second tip would be to create your portfolio early. I feel we all get sometimes stuck thinking that I don't know enough to create a portfolio, and why would I do that? But I feel like creating your portfolio early is going to have many benefits. First of all, you're going to put and learn, put in practice and learn good practices around working with data, creating documentation, describing your model, describing your code, and you're also going to learn a tool, for example, like GitHub, which is used in many companies to manage your projects, to manage your repository. And also, you can use the portfolio as part of your interview process and share it with a recruiter. And if it's well documented, then you will be able to quickly remember what you did a year before and just easily take someone through it. And secondly, also for your personal benefit, to appreciate the amount of work that you put into your career and your studies. If a year later you are able to open the first portfolio that you created, the first project, and see how much you learned since then, that's a good appreciation moment to see how much work you've done. The third tip I would say is to master SQL coding on the screen. During the interview process for data scientist roles, for data analyst role, SQL coding is a technical step of the recruitment process, and in many companies you are required to code on the screen. As you solve the problem, you need to talk the recruiter through your work. And it may sound easy, but as I learned, it's not that easy to think about the right comment to apply to a certain problem, analyze the problem, and at the same time take someone through the logic that you're doing. So not only doing SQL coding courses online, but also trying to maybe even talk to yourself sometimes in front of the computer to pretend that you're taking someone through the code is something that's going to help you get through that interview stage, this technical interview stage. And
So,
the last...
Alicia, so SQL is the best friend of a data scientist.
Yes, I would say so. I think it's assumed that every single data scientist can learn SQL and can code, although you may not use it that much in the job. Is something that I notice is pre-required. So I would say yes.
Okay, clear.
Yeah, and then we've got the last tip, which would be to learn one visualization tool. So currently on the market, there is many data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, QlikView, or Looker, and there is many more appearing. Well, every single month, I would say. Some of them are open source, some of them are paid, and companies. It depends on the company and their stack, which tool they use. But I would say that there is something all of them have in common, and as you learn one, it's very easy for you to learn another one and progress. And it's just a good to have at least one on your CV. And I would say that Tableau is a data visualization tool that I would go for if I were to learn one at the beginning, especially when you are still a student or you still got your student email active or used. You still got access to it, because as a student you can get access to a subscription to Tableau, student Tableau subscription for a year for free, so you can practice the tool and learn how it works. And obviously afterwards you need to pay for access to it. So a few words about Tableau. Here on the screen we've got 5 different solutions that Tableau offers in the family. We've got Tableau Public, which is a public data visualization tool. The data set and visualizations that you create are going to be published and accessible to anyone, to public. There's also Tableau Prep, which is a tool used to transform and load data. As you create the whole data pipe, you can connect to data warehouse and then transform the data automatically connected to a data visualization. So I would say this is something to put a dashboard in production in a company. And the top 3, Tableau Desktop, Tableau Server, and Tableau Online, they are all data visualization tools, but they just differ in terms of the way they host data and scale. And out of those 3, I think Tableau Desktop is the best one to use. And I wanted to give you a short demo of Tableau. I also put at the bottom a link to get a subscription. I'm not sure if the slides are going to be shared, but here's a link. You can probably easily find it online, Googling. So let me just quickly share Tableau. Okay, cool. Let me know if you can see that now, or
Yes,
do you still see my...
See.
Okay, cool. So as you open Tableau, as you open a new workbook, you will have an option to connect to different data sources. And here Tableau allows you to connect to more or less anything, I would say. You can connect to Microsoft Excel, you can have a text file, a JSON file, even a PDF. You can also connect to a data server like Oracle or Amazon Redshift. But if there is no particular data set that you are interested in exploring, you can use a sample data from Tableau data store. And you also got an option to look at some sample workbooks to see what kind of visualization you can build and was built by some Tableau professionals. So as you connect to a file that you picked from here, if you've got a data that you want to explore, you will be taken to a view like that, which I have already connected to a data store, to an Excel file. And in that data source view, you are able to explore the data to see what kind of values you've got in different columns, what columns you have, what types of values, and you are also able to combine multiple tables, creating relationship between them if you are to explore multiple data sources in one file. And from there, clicking at a button here, you can create new worksheet, and all the tables that you loaded and you saw on the data source tab, you are able to interact with here, and you can just drag and drop them. So you can, for example, look at the number of vehicles by type and do a count. You can group them by color, and Tableau gives you the flexibility to change more or less anything. You can adjust labels, you can adjust size, color, you can change the text, the way text is shown, titles by clicking. So in that sense, I think the tool is very intuitive. You just drag and drop, try different ways of showing the data. You also, if you click on the Show Me button, you've got different suggestions that Tableau gives you to show the data in a different way. So you can change that quickly and easily. And then as you build multiple sheets and multiple visualizations, you can combine them in a dashboard. And here I build one dashboard to show you. Here I've got my sheets on the left side, and I just drop them, adjust them, and combine them all together to create one big dashboard for someone to look at. And even if you want to, Tableau gives you an option to create an interactive dashboard that, in my case, on a weekly basis, you can just play the data and that way see how it changes over time. So I think Tableau is a good tool to start with, to learn the basis of data visualization and just explore some data. And yeah, and you've got a free subscription for students. So that would be my go-to tool if I were to learn something now. And yes, that's all for me. Let me know if you've got any questions.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you. Yes, so far we had two questions. One question by Valentina. So what are the required skills for people interested in this sector?
Required skills. So I would say, as long as you are curious, if you've got a problem, then you start thinking about it and you want to crack it and understand what's happening there, then you're probably going to make a good data scientist. And willingness to learn as well, as I said before, because as data science is a new field, is still trying to find its place in the industry. It's growing enormously. The new tools are just appearing all the time, new techniques. So being willing to learn them on the job as you go is also very important.
Alicia, which is the best way to improve our skills with Tableau?
With Tableau, I think I would start with the free subscription, and also on the Tableau website, you can find many resources. They created amazing, amazing free videos, free courses that you can follow, and that way quickly learn basis of Tableau.
Are they in English?
Yes, they are in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So today we have a lot of people.
Yes, another question.
And a lot of people that are studying in data field, but also marketing. And now we will read it.
Amazing.
Yes. The question is, what's the subject from uni that you use in your day to work? Like the most useful subject of uni that you use like in an everyday working life.
Cool, that's a very nice question. I've never thought about it. I would say that for sure it's I would say it's my data visualization tool course. I very much enjoy that course at the time because they taught me not only about building dashboards, but also having that logic behind how to look at the data. It's not about just throwing everything on a dashboard and then showing it on a graph. It's actually thinking, which information do you want to show? What is valuable? Because you don't want your audience to be just overwhelmed by the amount of graphs you're showing. You want them to understand the key points, and you want them to have a nice data story with all the dashboards that you build. So I would say it's still data visualization, but of course all the technical courses as well. When I learn Python, for example, I use them all the time.
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah, we have another question by Mary. So what's the biggest difficulty you have faced to become a data scientist?
What's the biggest difficulty to become a data scientist? I think still landing the first job is the most difficult part, because in some companies they still kind of don't know what still the data scientist job description is not defined 100% well, and in some companies they require you to have already an experience with X amount of tools which you're not going to use, but they are just listing them in case they're going to use them at some point. So I feel like landing the first job is difficult, but I do see many companies just changing a little bit the direction, and then thinking that it's not about the tools that you're going to use, it's about the way you think and about you approach a problem. And if you are a good problem solver, and if you are curious, as I said before, then you are a good material for a data scientist, and you should just be brave and believe that you're going to get your first job, and then from there you're just going to go.
Thank you. I was saying that Valentina is studying, for example, marketing and accounting. John is studying statistics, but also Malbora, physics of data. Giacomo, a master in data analytics, and Alejandro will start a course in programming.
Perfect. It's so you all already know a little bit about data science. You're already doing it. It's only about applying it for business, right?
We have, yes, another question. Besides SQL, what other programming language is used in the data scientist's daily life?
Perfect. So I think Python is still the main language that many companies go for. Python or R, those two, but I see Python being more and more popular. I personally use Python, yes.
Python is easier than R?
I think it is. It is easier to learn at the beginning.
Okay. There is Shub, sorry if I mispronounce your name, that is saying that he's doing a master in statistics for finance and economics. So, Alicia, what your work teammates, like what did they study? All of them statistics, or they come from different backgrounds and then you do the same work?
So actually at my company, I work currently with 2 data engineers and I'm a data scientist. So my colleagues, one of them has a background, actually both of them have a background in telecommunication. And then from there, they did courses to study big data. And yeah, they work as a data engineers now. But I do feel like statistics and finance is already a very good background for you to start working as a data scientist if you would like to. Because as I said, it's all about the way you think and the way you work with numbers. And obviously statistics, finance is all about numbers. In simple terms.
Yeah, sure.
Alicia, is there a company you would like to join in the future to bring your knowledge with data and improve its business with data?
Oh, that's a nice question. So I think for many people, a dream is to work for one of those big firms like Facebook, Google, Amazon. I feel like I'm not sure if I would like to work there. I feel like working for smaller companies is more interesting. They've got many more interesting problems to solve. So I would say, yeah, a small tech business as I work for now is still something I would like to continue. But yeah, this is something I should think about probably. That's a good question. Thank you.
You should have said tutor.
Oh yeah. Are you looking for a data scientist?
Yeah,
today
we have
yes,
data scientists, yes, here.
I think it's data analyst / data scientist is not very clear at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how many people are at your company so far?
So far, I think my company is about 100 people now, but
Okay.
data science team is very small, so it's only 3 of us now.
Oh, okay. But I guess it's getting bigger, like in the future, since data are getting much more important for every kind of business. So
yes, this is what we've been told and promised, that our team is going to grow. So we are waiting for new openings. We've got a lot of work to do in our team.
Is your company so far only UK or also somewhere else, like in Europe?
So my company, they've got office in UK, but they serve clients all over the world.
Okay. We have another question.
Yes, but I would like to ask to Shoaib if he want to open his microphone. I'm trying to give him the possibility. Yes. Shoaib, if you want, you can use.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Hi.
Yes.
Hello. Good evening. I'm Shoaib. I stay in Perugia. I'm in Perugia, pursuing masters, as I stated, in statistics for finance and economics. My question was, for example, in the 2 years that I'm pursuing this masters, we have been using R programming language, not Python. And I feel like transitioning to Python now will definitely take a lot of time. Do you recommend I stay true to R and look for opportunities that use R instead of transitioning to Python and expanding my base?
Mm-hmm. And And how do you feel about R? Do you like programming in R? Is it something you enjoy?
I feel like it's more simpler using R, but as time goes by, I don't know if you have seen the recent emerging thing, like R itself is somehow transitioning to Python. And there is a lot of, let's say Python is widespread compared to R, and every other company is using Python, and R is kind of getting obsolete now.
Yeah, I saw, I noticed there are some companies just rewriting their code that is R-based to Python.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But I still think there are opportunities to work with R. And if you really wanted to stay with that language, I think you can find something for yourself. But if this is not something you very much enjoy doing, I would consider transitioning to Python, because it's, as you said, just used more often. And I wouldn't be afraid of transitioning to Python, because you slowly start with a few libraries. You don't have to learn all of them. You slowly start with a few libraries, and then as you get a project or the problem that you want to solve, you just look for a solution, and then you learn as you go. So learning basis is something that you can do probably relatively quickly. But yeah, it depends how you feel about those languages.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your answer, for your question and the answer of Alicia. John is asking in chat, what are other tools frequently used besides Python and SQL?
So yes, so Python and SQL are obviously to work with data, but you also got that to create models. I meant work with data, but obviously you also got that work before you get that clean and perfectly prepared data that you can model. Before you've got steps that if you look at the whole life of a data, right? You've got at the beginning you've got different processes that generate, that capture, that collect the data, that sometimes you need to work with software engineers, for example, to enable you to capture, to collect that data. Then you've got the whole pipe that process that data before it lands in the data warehouse. And then you've got different tools to ensure the quality, to validate the data, to see which data points you want to capture and what you don't want to capture, because currently we've get that enormous amount of data, but some of it is not used at all and is just sitting in the data warehouse. It's been paid for storage and things like that. So there's also work to do on the validation, to controlling the quality of the data. And then as the data gets to the warehouse, you've got also different tools like, for example, dbt that helps you manage this data in the data warehouse to create some models and logic there. And then, of course, you've got the insight generation path when you want to create dashboards and visualization. So we've got then Tableau, Power BI, things like that, to just understand your data. And when it comes to pure data modeling, then we've got SQL to extract it from the data from the warehouse, Python to work with it. And then we go into machine learning, different libraries for that. So there's many things that you can do with data from the moment it's captured till you generate value with it.
Nice, thanks.
And Alicia, do you think a person could become data scientist even if he or she doesn't know SQL? Malbora said that she had used only Python during the study path.
So is there any chance to get to learn this tool once you enter the company, or you already need to know it before entering?
I would say that, of course, there's a chance that it's going to happen. But many companies tend to have SQL as an SQL test as a technical step on the interview process. And if that is the case, then you need to master coding on the screen and trying to take someone through it. So I would say that might be a problem, but obviously there are companies that not going to have that stage, and you might learn it on the job as you go.
Okay.
We say that data are the most important things in the world. Do you think that data will be used also to cook pizza in Italy?
I hope not. I hope not, because pizza in Italy is already good. There is no need for data to improve it.
We don't need the data. Alicia, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
And inspiring, and also all the people here were very engaged with a lot of questions that you all were appreciating your presentation here in the chat. So thank you very much for this, and hope to meet you again in future for everything.
Great, thank you so
an
much.
Experience or for a pizza together.
Based on data.
Yes, obviously.
Would be awesome. Would be awesome. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks everyone for joining and asking questions.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you. Good evening.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.